Hello, welcome to Biz Dev Live. I am so excited to come to you today and talk to you about following up. Are you following up in your business when you have a one-to-one with somebody after a potential sales call? How are you following up? Are you following up with customers post-transaction? If you're a brick and mortar and you're selling ice cream, we had Ellen Sledge on the other day, and she was talking about how the things that you can do in terms of even in that transactional piece. They've bought the ice cream, you're sending them the ice cream. Are you sending a thank you note? Are you doing something to show your appreciation? If you had a one-to-one, are you following up with important information on how to actually continue on with the product? Are you offering other services? Are you just saying thank you for being there? Are you following up later in the year? Are you using a customer relationship manager so that you can continue that follow-up and stay front of mind? Are you following up on the holidays? Are you following up? How are you doing it? I really want to know how you are following up. I actually am doing this as a part one, and I want to hopefully, I'll try to go to the communities that I'm serving, networking by Biz Dev Live, Master Connection series. I'm going to ask in all of these different places. We have Master Connection series coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern. This is Friday, March 5th, and you can catch Steve and I live today talking about social media plan. And this is a big important piece of your social media plan. How are you following up consistently to market, promote, provide opportunities for people to find you? I often talk about people in terms of, in terms of doing social media. It isn't so much about finding new customers as it is staying in front of old customers. So it's a great way to follow up, show that people are really, your business is alive, it's well, it's prospering, or you're offering new products and services. It's not just that one transaction. Thanks, Bart. Follow-up is so important. Good topic, money and mindset. Thanks for that, Bart. Yeah, absolutely. Follow-up is the thing that I think separates good businesses from bad businesses. Organizations that think through following up are going to be good organizations. People who are really thinking about the long-term health of that client relationship. I'd love to go back to Disney and talk about the value that they see in making sure that they are creating really special moments for their customers to create lifelong customers. They feel it's so much easier to get more business from an existing client than to go out and get new clients. Go to word of mouth, all of the different things that are created from really doing great follow-up. And I struggle with this, honestly, for Toth event staffing, my hospitality business, in my everyday interactions, especially as my network grows and the number of people that I'm interacting with. While I can do certain things really good, other things are harder to maintain. We started doing custom letters. My daughter was in the office over the summer, and we started doing letters. So after every one-to-one and with the clients that we were serving and working with, we would send you a personalized thank you card, and it was great. And I love the idea of doing a personalized thank you card because I knew it was going to be meaningful. You've received probably the card from your accountant. No offense to the accountants, but there's certain businesses that just do those traditional holiday greetings. I was listening to somebody that's in my network talk about sending those texts around the holidays. I think there's a big difference. You're putting out really valuable content on social media, awareness pieces. This is what we're doing, knowledge pieces. This is how you do something. Those things are really valuable because people are going to pay attention to them because they may receive some value from them. Can you do that with your follow-up? Can you send a special quote, something that has something meaningful, something that can be used with your holiday greetings? I think when you do that, you do something special. But if I'm just getting a holiday card that says Happy Holidays and the name of the company, I don't know how valuable that is. I know for myself, it'll go up on the wall as a pretty decoration. but I don't know if that company is really standing out in any specific way. The magnets with the calendars, I think those are wonderful. Again, what's the ROI on that? I can find your number. So I think there's an extreme value for that, right? To make sure that it's upfront and personal there. But, there's different things with following up that I think are more effective than others. If you're following up from a sales call with an email, please make it easy for me to find your product. So there's following up where as I'm following up, I'm getting awareness, I'm spreading awareness, but there's also following up that's challenging. Like for me as the customer, if you're following up with me and you're giving me all this information to read, or there's a lot to make it very simple. I would have it as much as possible. If there is more information, make that an optional part of the message. If you want to read more about this, go here. If you want to read more about that, go here. And maybe that's after your actual call to action. Because if I want them to buy the product, or I want them to make a phone call, or I want them to schedule a meeting, let me make that link the prime focus of my follow-up. Same thing with the card or something like that. If there's an action I want them to take, let me make that the prime focus of my follow-up, and let me provide value around that. Let me provide information, awareness of what I'm doing, some sort of value in that follow-up, and be warm. And as much as possible, make sure that you're personalizing it. I'd love to know from you how you're following up, how you schedule your follow-up. Are you using a customer relationship management system? What is working for you? If you're using something like a Salesforce, is it working? And what about it is working? I will be asking this question of the community, but I want you to comment down below, because I will make a part 2 to this, where I talk about folks that are actually in my community, people that I'm interacting with, and what they're doing that is really providing them real results. I know for myself, for Toth Event Staffing, it was following up with images and things like that on social media to stay in front of customers. I'm talking about things that I actually did and actually had an effect. I know there's other things that I could have done that would do more, right? Or potentially do more, but things that I actually did. So I would post things on social media that would stay in front of customers, and that would lead to things like on Facebook. The Toth Event Staffing brand was definitely promoted word of mouth on groups like Scarsdale Moms, because we work very heavily in the Scarsdale area of Westchester in New York, and in Greenwich, Connecticut, and even in NYC. But there was these groups online that would find us. And I think by staying in front of our customers, we made our information accessible, getting things like Google My Business, making sure that, we had information and photos updated there. And I know that the conversation is around follow-up, but that is part of follow-up, right? Making sure that your business is visible in all these places. And then one of the things that I would do with customers is make sure that as I'm sending a follow-up to them after a sales call, that, I'm following up with an invoice. It's clear, it's direct, it's done, right? It's basically all there. And it's, at the end of the day, easy. There's a button to make payment, that the process is easy. We moved very early with Toth Event Staffing from a model where we would have mailed out invoice or something that I would have to go and actually do a physical card swipe, to an online invoicing software program. We use QuickBooks, but I know there's lots of different online invoicing things that actually manage the customers as well. And that was QuickBooks for us. And so that allowed the follow-up with the sale to be a lot easier, a lot smoother, and it took the friction out of the process. And with follow-up, I think that's a big deal, both for your ability to follow up and for the customer, right? So I want to remove friction from my ability to actually follow up, whether I'm sending an email. Is there a way that I can automate it? Is there a company that can send it? Is there a way for me to personalize that message so that the money that I'm paying, for it to be automated for somebody else to do it actually has the impact that I want. So creating these systems and processes so that your follow-up is good. If you're doing it in-house, doing it in a manageable way. Maybe I'm not going to do a personalized letter because it's too much work, but I am going to write a handwritten note on a nice stationery piece that I send out. So there's lots of different ways. Again, I really want to hear from you, the Biz Dev Live community. What are you doing to follow up? Send me a message. Happy to do a phone call. I'd love to incorporate your tips, your tricks, things that are working for you, because that is what this show is about. Entrepreneurs, business owners, helping other entrepreneurs and business owners. I hope you got something out of this day. I'm going to play us off with the Biz Dev theme here, and I will see you on Monday. And we will be back with the amazing Erica. I'm hoping I'm saying this name right. Adoba. We got a lot of guests lined up for next week. I got to get all the promotional stuff, so I'm going to go get to it. I'm going to go follow up on that. I hope you're following up with your clients. Want to hear your tips and tricks? Definitely respond in the comments. I'll see you on YouTube, see you on Facebook, see you on Twitter, and I'll see you on Biz Dev Live Networking Tuesday at 12, and today, Master Connection Series at 2 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.